Do you believe in the afterlife, ghosts, spirits, the paranormal? Lots of people do. However, there's an even amount of people who don't believe in it for obvious reasons. I will be explaining and proving that ghosts and spirits are real with key visual evidence and lots of other key evidence to maybe prove to you that ghosts are real. I want to start off with visual evidence. This first photo here is a picture my mother actually got from one of her coworkers, taking at her home, at the coworker's home in Fitchburg. It appears to show in the top left corner a screaming face. It was taken down a basement stairwell. Very scary looking, but it's kind of hard to see up close, so you kind of have to stand back to see it. So I'll try to, if you can see here in the photo in the top left corner. So it's a very scary picture, but it's from around 2016 or so it was taken. And the homeowner discussed, or rather claimed to have heard weird noises coming from the basement. So one day she decided to open her basement door and snap a picture, and well, this is the result. Very scary. The next photo was I took in my yard many years ago one summer. I think I was just doing it for the exact reason, looking for orbs or whatever on camera at my house, because my house has been, my house I'm in has had a history of paranormal activity. It's an old house built in the 1800s. And I live in a town that had a lot of Native American history, a lot of farmers, and so there's probably a lot of spiritual activity in the town too, Native American history and Native American burial grounds, stuff like that. So anyways, this photo shows what appears to be an orb in my front yard. It was like it was meant to be there, It looks like, to me, if you look in the left side of the photo, it almost looks like an eyeball. And the way the pupil, so to speak, in the picture, it's actually looking towards my house. Like it's like a guardian angel looking out from my house or something like that. I've cherished that picture forever, and I've always loved it, and I think it's so cool. It may not be paranormal at all. You could easily say, "Oh, Ryan, that's just some dust." Well, I'm standing with it. It's an orb, and orbs are usually associated with ghosts. The last two pictures I took around the same time a few years ago. I was at a wedding at a campsite in Western Mass, in the town of Tolland, Mass, which is out past Springfield, for a cousin who was having a wedding, and me, my aunt, and my mother went in the woods. And we found this abandoned cabin that was dilapidated. It was a rainy day. It was a warm day. So and that's important key. The part being warm day, that's a key coming up in a minute. If you look at these pictures, well, one picture you have the first picture here shows orbs inside. Lots of orbs, lots of white anomalies. It was a very strange photo. And the next photo here shows mist. Now, like I just said, it was a warm day. It couldn't have been my breath. It was probably mid-September. I mean, it's getting naturally, seasonal. It's getting cooler, but I don't want to call it being cold, but it was raining. So it made it that much more darker, that much more spookier, and that much more able to get a picture of mist. So moving on from visual evidence, the next evidence that I have is that ghosts are magnetic. Ghosts are said to be made up electromagnetic energy because Earth is one big magnet, and that ghosts feed upon electromagnetic energy. Now, of course, like I said, a lot of people might say, "Oh, it's just our minds playing tricks on us," and it is mentioned, and this is according to ApexMagnetic.com, that ghosts, or the electromagnetic field, plays with our head a little bit to make us think that there's a ghostly presence. And I found that very fascinating. And I can see why they believe that. But if you've ever watched shows like Ghost Adventures, Ghost Hunters, I've always watched those shows growing up. They say ghosts have an electromagnetic field, and that's why they're able to be picked up on certain devices. The next piece of evidence is probably the most controversial. A lot of people, why ghosts are obviously deemed as fake most of the time. It's for obvious reasons, of course, and according to Ohio State University, science really can't decipher if there's no experiment to see that if ghosts are real. So it's very, very easy for people to dismiss ghosts as, oh, it's a fairy tale. Oh, it's not real. So it's very important. And Ohio State University goes on to say there's no real experiment. There's no experiment to deem this is true. It's just people make it up. People hallucinate. Now, adding my own twist on this, you hear people, for example, that have near-death experiences and they claim they see the light and they're in heaven and they see Jesus Christ and everything. Now people say that's just your mind going, it's endorphins, your brain going crazy as you die. But again, why do all people have very similar encounters when they have a near-death experience, seeing like the light and seeing loved ones that have passed on and all that? So if that's something I've always questioned. Same thing with ghosts. People have claimed to see ghosts, and they don't know if they're really seeing it or if it's their minds playing tricks. I have lots of family members who have had ghostly encounters over the years. I used to have a home in New Hampshire, a summer home in New Hampshire that was very haunted, with usually family, but there was an occasion where a Ouija board was brought in and evil spirits were brought in. And now Ouija board is something, because I come from a religious family, Ouija boards are something that we don't ever bring into our house because we know that can open the door to evil spirits. We don't want evil spirits because if you've watched some ghost shows, even if you believe it or not, ghosts, evil spirits, you don't want them in your house. They're endangered, from another dimension, really. So it's a controversial subject. Ghosts are very, very hard to wrap your head around. A lot of people don't believe it, but a lot of certain religions do believe that spirits are real, and a lot of people have seen the visual evidence I showed you. That hopefully you can take that as some proof and consider my explanations here that ghosts and spirits and the afterlife is real, and that when we die we go to either heaven or our spirit lingers on earth for a year, or with that idea that our spirit stays on earth for 1 year after we die. That's what I've been told by psychics. And I believe in psychics too. Believe with me or not, that's what I believe, but not everybody might not believe, and that's okay. It depends what your idea is and how you see the supernatural. So hopefully you can take into account all my visual evidence of ghosts and all my explanations of ghosts, and maybe you might want to become a paranormal investigator and see if you can have your own ghostly encounter. Thank you very much, and have a good day.